our first school board candidate forum. And I would like to start by thanking Shawn Brown, who is running for District 5. And I pray that you and your family are doing well.
Yes, we're doing good. Thank you.
Great. The other school board candidate, Audrey Gibbons, will have a forum on Thursday night. So please make sure you log in for that. So tonight, we are going to start our forum with a 2-minute introduction so that Shawn can tell us a little bit about himself. So then, Shawn, then we will begin asking questions which have been submitted by community members prior to the forum. If you have a question you'd like to ask, please submit it in the chat section on the bottom of your screen. Shawn will have 90 seconds to answer each question. Chantez wave. We'll be keeping our time and displaying a green card while you are speaking. It'll change to a yellow card when there's 20 seconds left and an orange card when you need to stop. We ask that, Shawn, you please respect the time limits. You don't have an opponent tonight, but we'd like to get as many questions answered as possible. So,
yes, ma'am.
So a little bit, Shawn will be running against Audrey Gibbons for the Democratic nomination for this position. The election will take place on June 9th, with early voting beginning May 18th. But some of you have already received your ballots in the mail, so you can already vote for your candidate of choice. Please make sure if you have not turned in your absentee ballot application that you do so immediately. Now for the candidate introduction. Shawn, please let us know a little bit about yourself.
Yes, appreciate the opportunity, Julie, to introduce myself. My name is Shawn Brown, born and raised in Glynn County, a resident of Brunswick, family from Brunswick, mother and father. Attended Glynn County school system, graduated from Brunswick High. Attended Benedict College in Columbia, South Carolina, where I went to receive a degree into education. And I came back home and worked for Glynn County school system for a number of years. I coached for Glynn County school system of high school level, left and went to coaching college ball, came back and went into the safety department, working as a safety manager for the Georgia Port Authority. So I'm not new to Brunswick. Everybody, a lot of people know me in Brunswick. I have, like I say, a family here. We have a church here in Brunswick. So it's, I love Brunswick. It's home. And I love, my friends and family. That's it.
All right. Well, thank you, Shawn. Pamela Bailey, we had a little technical difficulty, so Pamela will now take over. We are right after the introduction, Pamela, and to his first question.
All right. Thank you, Shawn, for that introduction. How would you handle the current COVID-19 crisis as a school board member?
The way I would handle it, I feel, working with the school board members, with the superintendent and the superintendent panel. We, sit down and come with a good solution of making sure that everybody is, number one, safe, that all the teachers and staff members are safe, that the students is safe and, healthy. And then we come up with a, solution on the keeping for their online schooling. That's one of the biggest situations that everybody is facing right now. In this pandemic, we will have to make sure that kids have opportunity of internet access. Some parents do not have internet access. And so I feel that it's obligated for the school to help them with supplying internet access for the kids to continue with their education. I had opportunity to travel to different counties where some counties have equipped school buses to have internet Wi-Fi access for parents who cannot afford the internet. That's one big issue that I feel that Glynn County could, step up to the plate and provide.
All right, thank you for that answer. Some students are not as equipped as others to navigate the current online learning atmosphere. Due to the lack of access to needed technology and the pressure of watching young siblings and relatives, what can be done to ensure students are not punished for circumstances beyond their control while still holding an appropriate standard of education for the school year?
Well, one, the access for the teachers. I have talked with a number of teachers that's working with, checking, making sure that the kids are signing in on the computer to do their assignments. And talking with them, explained to me that it's hard for kids to, do their classwork online because they're needing that one-on-one, hands-on with a teacher. So I feel that it would have been suitable if, just like if you in college doing an online class, you have where you have teachers be right there and the students able to see the instructor, the professor. And I feel that that's one thing that we should have had provided for the students, where the teachers was able to see, some of the kids if they was able to log in, and they could see the teachers teaching, helping them to show them how to accomplish and complete their work.
All right, thank you for that answer. Do you see transparency as an important part of holding this position? If so, what would you do to make the actions of the Board of Education more visible and accessible to the public?
One, town hall meetings is very important. It's very important that you have town hall meetings. It's very important that a board member, go and visit churches, not just for campaigning, not for to ask for votes. Go in different clubs to explain what is going on with the school system. Some people, when they campaign, they go in churches or they go in meetings and they ask people to vote for them. And then after they get elected in office, you don't see them no more.
Sure.
And that's one of my pet peeves. I'm not working for the Board of Education. I'm working for the people of Glynn County. And if I, get an opportunity to sit on the school board, one, you'll be filling some major shoes of Ms. Bobbitt. Ms. Bobbitt has did a tremendous job of stepping up, of taking over from Ms. Holmes. You have to get out and let the people know what's going on. You have to get out and sit down and talk with some of the parents and let the parents know that they're very important to be involved in the school system with their kids. Not just, sitting back saying, oh yeah, I'm representing District 5. I'm Shawn Brown. Hey, how you doing? Or when someone calls and asks you, they need a board member to come over to a meeting and never show. That you lose confidence in the community. And that's one thing I don't want people to look at and say, that's what he did.
Thank you for that answer. What makes you qualified to run for this office and your experience?
What makes me qualified? I have worked with the Glynn County Board of Education on a lot of positions when I say positions, on the SPLOSH. I sat with them on the SPLOSH committee from when Ms. Holmes was on the board. Working with on the new school of Jane Macon, Glen Middle, Brunswick High, the Risley Learning Center, the new Risley. I have sat on the board, and I have sat on the board committees on other. I have sat on this with the athletic department. With when Mr. John Gilbert there, I sat on this with him for him, So I'm not a stranger to the Board of Education. When situations occurred, I went to the board and voiced my opinion. They know I'm not the that you're gonna knee jerk. Not gonna push me around. When I see, well, I'm there for the people, for the kids, and that's one thing I have a deep passion for the kids. When I worked at Neewood under Dr. Coy Brinson, she told me one thing. She says, two kinds of teachers. a teacher for a check and it's a teacher for the kids. Which one are you going to be? You here for a check or you here for the kids? And I took that to heart when she asked me that question.
All right, thank you for that answer. What are the two main issues facing Glynn County schools? And what is your vision to address these issues?
The two main issues facing Glynn County Schools is continue providing quality education during the current pandemic of the crisis and funding along the declining enrollment. I plan to work with the board, with education members of the superintendent executive cabinet. I plan, sit down and with principals and encourage other board members to reach out to principals and let's come up with a good plan to make sure that our people are, looking forward to college careers ready made after, graduation.
All right, thank you. Considering the violence seen in schools across the country, how confident are you in the preparedness of the Glynn County school system to face such an event? Do you see a need for improvement? And if so, where?
I am very confident in the system. One, we are blessed to have a strong resource department, SORs. I know a number of them, and they are they are very concerned about the kids. When it comes to a situation, we have access from, if something happened, we got connections with Glynn County Glynn County Police Department. We have the City Police Department. We have the Sheriff Department. Excuse me. One thing that I'm excited that of sitting in on with the school system, had the opportunity to be invited when the teachers and staff went through a training from a fleet tech instructor, which we did the same training for the Georgia Port Authority, if we was facing a situation like that. So I'm excited that, and I feel comfortable that Glynn County school system staff will be able to handle a situation.
Thank you, Mr. Brown, for answering all those questions. Thank you all for those remarks. Now we turn this over to our constituents in our audience. You will have 1 minute to answer the questions from the audience.
Yes, ma'am.
And Julie Jordan will handle the questions from the constituents.
Thank you, Pamela.
You will.
So, Mr. Brown, a lot of our students do not have computers to work at home. What can you do to fix this, or what would you do to fix this?
One thing I feel that as a board member, I would encourage the board to set a budget up for providing laptops or pads. Like I said, I had the opportunity to visit different other school systems where I have friends that works for the school systems out of town. And, you're receiving information of what they are doing to help in situations like that, to purchase laptops and pads and let kids that can't afford them, low-income parents that can afford, that computer access, to sign them out.
All right. Next question.
Another question, and just a reminder, if you have any questions for Shawn, please put them in the chat room. We have a question now, Shawn, about how would you address the not having as many minority teachers in the school system? How would you encourage minority teachers and administrators to come to Glynn County schools?
That's a good question, Julie. I was waiting on that to come. I really was. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been praying that God will give me the strength to answer that question in the right way. I'm not here to make it. Don't take it wrong how I answer. I'm not here to to be a board member of dealing with racial situations. I understand that we're low in numbers of African American teachers and staff and administrators. But it's not about that. It's all about the kids. That's our full force, what we should be focusing on. if we have qualified people to come in and apply for jobs, we should encourage them to be hired. And it's not I'm not the one that's going to sit here and kick rocks about, oh, we only have 30 blacks in the administrative and 100 whites. I'm going to look at, are you qualified? Have you have the experience? And what area would you help us in? A lot of people are not looking for me to give that answer like that, but right now we're in a situation that we're dealing with a coronavirus situation, and is our kids are not in school to receive an education. So with that question, that'll be sitting on the back burner. And I'm just being honest with you, Julie. I'm just being honest with you about the person that asked that question. Yes, I know Glynn County is short in African Americans, in high, in administrative positions and teachers. But I see you with that up, and I'm about to end. But I feel right now our pandemic is more important with the situation where our kids need to be back in school, and we need to be handling it. Plan, put that's that we could look at. If I was on the board, I would deal with later.
Okay, thank you for that. Another question is, how do you feel about Dr. Spence being the sole finalist for superintendent?
Hi, Scott. I think Glynn County, the board members did a good job of picking him. One, I'm gonna say he's looking. He's a stranger to the Glynn County school system. He worked with both high schools. He knows a lot of people here. He knows a lot of parents. He has a lot of the parents of the students today's time. I feel that he wouldn't be a stranger coming in and meeting people in the community. You don't want to bring someone in right now at this pandemic situation where we coming back with the coronavirus, that they don't know nothing about Glynn County. They wouldn't know how to work with the staff and the principals and administrators. And he would know. He would know what he's facing with the board. He would know what the board would be looking for. So I think they picked a good candidate.
Okay. Okay, it looks like we have two more questions. One is, where does testing come into the equation? Are we teaching to the test, or does the testing help us teach?
That's that Common Core question. That's that Common Core education system. I feel that, we're not teaching to the testing. And do the testing help? No. Because when the kids move to the next grade, they're still left behind in certain areas. I feel that we need to go back into the old system where kids have books to take home. Because when they go into when the teacher gives them a test, they're not really prepared for the test because they don't have books to study. They given, a workbook. Some parents can't even help the kids study with the worksheets that the teachers is giving them. And it's not the teacher's fault. Parents need to go in and visit some of the classrooms and see what materials that the teachers have. This Common Core system, it needs to be thrown out the window. It really do. It need to be thrown out the window, and let's go back to the old way where when kids had literature books, English books, math books, social studies books, science books, they was able to be prepared for testing. Now they're not able to be prepared for testing because when you give them 5 worksheets, how that's gonna prepare them, and the parents don't even really understand the new math. I have a grandbaby and I'm catching the devil trying to help her.
We are just a few minutes away from our concluding remarks, so this will be our last audience question.
Okay, there is a disparity of resources between schools. Altama, Burroughs Millette are not given access to the same resources as, let's say, Oglethorpe Point. How can you as a board member ensure equal access to resources?
Set up a committee of community people. to let them see, you know, do an investigation to that they can let us know as board members. I'm gonna say as board members too. Let us know, do they see a difference? Because, you know, if you bring up, people say, oh, yeah, board members, they go take up for this area, they go take up for that area. Bring in different people that have business owners, employees from Georgia Pacific, employees from Georgia Power, a panel, and let them see what's going on over at Oglethorpe or St. Simon's is different from what Burrismillet or Altama or Goodyear is receiving, even Glendale, you know, and if they see something different, then they bring it to the board and say, hey, look, y'all not giving these kids the same opportunity of education fundings of, you know, information that they receive in Oglethorpe. Then nobody can make a complaint. Why? Because it wasn't the board that went and investigated. When you bring in a panel of people that don't have nothing to do with the school system and let them do an investigation for you, the community can't come to you and say, oh, y'all show favoritism because you got a family member work at Oglethorpe. You have a family member work at St. Simon's. No, these people that don't have nothing to do with the school system, and they can bring it to you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown, for those answers.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah. We now want to give Shawn 1 minute to make concluding remarks.
But I appreciate the opportunity to do this forum. If anybody have any questions, if they want to, you know, talk to me personally, I'm not hard to reach. My phone number is 912-506-1688. I don't want you to feel that, you know, I'm a stranger, that I'm only running just for the public, you know, publicity. I'm not running. I'm not sure. I won't be showing favoritism. Yeah, everybody know, oh, he's a Brunswick High guru. He's a diehard pirate. That don't mean nothing to me no more. It's all about the kids. It's all about the kids. Oh, he's going. I don't want nobody to feel, you know, I have had. That's why I was able to tell Julie I was ready for that question of the minorities. I don't want people to feel that I'm coming, you know, as a board member, if I be blessed to be elected, that I will be having that chip on my shoulder that I'm coming in with the bulldog to, oh, we don't have enough minorities in there. And so we can set that up and work on it, better recruiting and going into the historical Black colleges and let them know about Glynn County. We need to go out into the historical colleges and let them know we can go into Georgia Southern, Valdosta. And one thing I feel, you know, I would like for us to do is recruit our own kids that's going to college to become teachers. Let them come back home and know that they have a job here in Glynn County. Not that they got to go out of state to get a job because they're being told, oh, you wouldn't receive a job. You don't have an opportunity to get a job in Glynn County. No, we want them to know that we are welcoming them home to come back and teach in Glynn County because it feels good to be able to teach at your home school.
Thank you, Mr. Brown, for those answers, for those thoughtful answers also. Please stay tuned for more upcoming opportunities to meet our candidates. Remember that the primary election is Tuesday, June the 9th, and early voting begins on May 18th. Thank you again for coming out tonight. Have a blessed evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. You too. Thank you.